Paolo, and today is May 27th, 2026, my wife's birthday. Very cool. We already celebrated. The title of our live stream today is The Exclusive Inclusive Clan, the New Human Technology of Belonging. So clan, inclusive and exclusive. Inclusive is something that includes something more. Exclusive is because each one has one, let's say. Okay? So that's the path we're going down today. So the new technology, human sense of belonging. By the end of this live stream, we want you to have some tips and tricks to know how to do certain things, including creating your own clan. An inclusive and exclusive clan is something you need to create. In fact, you already have one. And we're going to show you how you already have one and how you can improve your clan, making it both inclusive and exclusive. The first thing we're going to tell you, which is interesting, and I'll reinforce this myself, is the following. We received some models, mainly from the European invasion of the American continent. Here in the Americas, the social units were clans and still are. And the European continent came with a social unit like the family. So the family entered as a social unit. The family is not a unit of a state. The unit of the state is the citizen. It coined the term, and over time, this family became a kind of margarine family. In Brazil, everyone knows the so-called margarita family. Daddy, mommy is a homemaker, takes care of the house. Daddy does this and that. The little boy in blue, the little girl in pink. That's the family, never fighting, always happy, always smiling. This family is the model of unity that isn't really unity. Unity is the citizen, a citizen territory body, one by one. It's not a family. But Jacques, why are you talking about an inclusive clan? Because the inclusive clan includes this concept of family. Because you see, we were raised with the concept of family. What can you do? And the concept of family sometimes often adds value to us. It adds a feeling of peace. It adds a pleasant feeling. So the inclusive clan is, look, every concept that has family, especially the family of possibility, you hold on to that concept and bring in that family of possibility. But the clan is much more than family, and that's what we're going to understand today. Plan is a network you need to have. And this network that you need to have is so you can regulate yourself, so you can manage your own behavior. Why? This is very important. Nobody regulates themselves alone all the time. Many times you can regulate yourself, but you can't regulate yourself alone all the time. You will often need others to help you regulate yourself. So that's today's live stream. I mean, the clan is the others. The others, who, Jackson? Look, the family of possibility. What do you consider family? Maybe just your father or your mother or the father of... Third marriage, second marriage, divorced mother. It doesn't matter because family is what's possible, plus your schoolmates, your swimming buddies, your walking buddy, the restaurant you go to, the waiters you talk to. So the clan is this involvement in this network of relationships. But the network of relationships alone doesn't create the structure we need today, which is the new human technology of belonging. Your clan has to bring a benefit. What is the benefit? The clan can metabolize what alone was a burden for you. The clan metabolizes it, it solves it. It works. One thing I always tell you is about energy. If I were to put energy in more scientific terms, it would be allostatic load. That thing you had the tension to do but didn't, and it got stuck, trapped in your throat, and you still don't do it, that's an allostatic load. It's a metabolism that doesn't come out, that doesn't occur, so there's energy. Now we go back to the title to reinforce it strongly, the inclusive and exclusive clan. An inclusive clan is the family you create. There was a time when a cousin of mine said, Jackson, family comes to us, but we choose our friends. Today's live stream is more in depth. You choose the clan and you include the family you can. It's an inclusive clan. And it's exclusive because you choose it, okay? When is this group good? When is this gathering of people, this collective solving something for you? When this group metabolizes something for you, improves your body, then we'll classify, return to you the notions of the three zones. Zone 1, Zone 2, and Zone 3. Zone 1. Zone 1 is every time you decide to do something. You've decided to do something, so you tense your body so you don't do it. Oops. I tensed up, I tense my body. I breathe, I take short thoracic breaths. I'm going to do this. I'm going to exercise. Look at my shallow, high, short breaths. High, tense breathing. Here it's a little tense, very tense. I'm breathing while doing something. This is zone 1. I'm going to do something. I tensed up and went into the movement to do that something. It's over. The shallow, heavy breathing is over. He took a long, shallow breath in his abdomen. What happened? I was in zone 1, doing what I was supposed to do, weeding, running, exercising. When I stopped, my ventilation stopped. My chest breathing became shallow and high. I went to visit my mother a few days ago and we had a nice conversation together. She said, everything is fine. I call her mommy, but tell me something. Why are you breathing shallowly up here, chest deep and shallow? This is bad, this is complicated, this gets stuck not in zone 1, but in zone 3, which I'm going to tell you about. Zone 3 is when you tense the parameter of doing and the tension of doing doesn't come out. So you've put your body in zone 3. And zone 3 is a short, high chest breath. Look here, look here. Sometimes the tension is here, sometimes it's there, and sometimes the attention is here, okay? Other times the attention is in a different part of the body. I'm going to explain something that science needs to verify a bit more, but I'll explain it to you anyway. When you start to have shortness of breath, if breathing is shallow, whether low or high, it causes the CO2 level in the blood to rise from 40 milliliters mUs to 45 milliliters. The CO2 that you breathe, if your breathing is shallow, it's at 40, it goes to 45. Whoa, hold on. If the CO2 in your blood is at 40 and goes to 45, when it gets close to 45, there's something that's a circuit activation, a brain circuit mechanism that activates vasodilation in the prefrontal part of the brain. Okay? Jackson, why all this silly confusion, right? When you take a short, shallow breath, you raise the CO2 level in your blood and dilate the brain a little more. The prefrontal cortex becomes more active. You can get fixated on a problem. You can anchor the problem here in the prefrontal cortex with dilation of your brain, and that problem stays in your head all day. Why? Because your breathing is shallow and sometimes rapid up here. This short, shallow breathing already makes me nervous, and it stays here. And then this nervousness leads me to something else that's even more nervous, and I'm always tense, and always guilty, and always nervous, and always stressed, because the breathing is It's always short and shallow, even in my chest. And then your brain is activated, it's dilated here. The brain is more activated. Obviously, this also happens when you sleep. Your breathing becomes short and shallow, going to the abdomen, and that part is activated because at night you'll dream a lot of things in the brain. But there's no movement in the brain, there's no zone one for you to do. You can sleep. So it's a different thing. What are we introducing now? An inclusive and exclusive clan. For the clan to benefit you, it has to, in some way, at some point in that clan, lead you to have long, shallow breathing. I breathe with my belly. I breathe in one step and release it in two steps. Mechanism, when you are slowly and relaxedly releasing the air, here the tension decreases, oxygenation increased. It was at 45, which meant it was dilated. It decreased to 40, so here the brain became completely normal. It didn't get hyperexcited in the front. When you exhale slowly, very slowly, and your heart rate variability increases, we are in zone 2. We are in zone 2. Your critical thinking, your critical power increases. We are in zone 2. In zone 2, you breathe deeply for 1 count and exhale for 2 counts. That's it. And the breathing is shallow and long. Zone 2, doctor, so zone 2 is this. Zone 1 is when you have to do something, your breathing is a little heavier, and you're going to do something, your heart beats more synchronized, your prefrontal cortex is more activated, and you might be fixated on a problem, and that problem won't leave your head because you're fixated. But when you get there, you're going to switch. Have you solved the problem? Have you done what needed to be done? Do you have the completeness of the movement that tends the body to do something? It's done, and the body relaxes. That tension that was meant for that task is gone, and now you're in zone 2, and you can tense up again for another task. Now I'm going to do laundry. Now I'm going to iron. I'm going to cook. I'm going to write a letter. I'm going to exercise. So you tense up and do it. When you finish doing it, you relax. Completeness of movement. Zone 1 is that you do something, and after that thing is done, the body relaxes. If you have remnants of that thing in your body, you carry tension from one task to the next. That's stress. And then this tension of doing something to do something puts us in zone 3. Body tensions that become trapped in the body. In zone 3, which is this accumulated stress, you don't have much critical thinking ability. It's more complicated because you don't relax, you don't let go. They'll come back to the topic. Clan, inclusive and exclusive, a new human technology of belonging. When you choose your friend, your girlfriend, or your basketball, soccer, walking, or park buddies, at that moment when you arrive and talk to them, if at that moment when you arrive and talk to them, your breathing is no longer chest breathing, it's long and abdominal breathing, that moment of laughter, of pleasure, of casual conversations with each other is metabolizing problems that are in your body and that you wouldn't regulate on your own otherwise, because that's your clan. This is your clan. So what happens? Girls, a little girl is born 2 or 3 years old and she wants to play with a ball. No, you can't play with balls. That's a boy's game, a lad's game, a man's game. And she gets all worked up, you know? What kind of game is that? A woman can do what she wants within the structures. The family has to take care of her so she doesn't get hurt. Okay, but even then, first problem. Second problem being a girl, folks, entering puberty. Man, It's the hormones messing everything up, turning everything around. It's a flow of water inside your body that's a completely different kind of water movement. You're going through puberty. If it's a girl, the complexity gets even greater. Then you'll have PMS, those premenstrual tensions. Man, it's a very powerful thing. This person, this girl at that age, looks at the Margarina family, and the Margarita family no longer protects her because there's pain she wants to express but can't. She needs her own club, her own clan, her own friends, her own outings. Sometimes she competes with them, her own kitten, her own dog, I don't know what, her own plant, but she needs a space to move around and for her body to signal this regularity. And sometimes that space is with another human being or with a collective of human beings in a clan, the clan of this girl, this boy, this young man. So he grows up and creates clans. I told my mother this too. At some point, you have the picture perfect family, the father, the mother, the children, and so on. At some point, the father is gone, my father has passed away. And then you have to restructure it differently. Then you say, not alone, I'll structure it with my memories. Look, memory, every memory you have is for doing. Doing is zone one. Do it, relax. Memory isn't meant to be, it's meant to be done. Sometimes there's a memory that when done makes me laugh, sometimes it makes me cry. But she does it, it's over, she erases the memory and moves on to something else. Memory is for doing. Memory also brings the concepts of riding a bicycle. It's a memory, already implicit learning that you know how to ride a bicycle, but it's a memory. You retrieve it, you ride a bicycle. Finished, deactivate it. Memory is for doing, not for being. So if you pull up a memory of the Margarine family, it's to make a cake, a memory, a toasted almond, something, and that comes back in the memory. And the tears come, and that's for making you cry, for making you laugh. Memory is not for being. People sometimes get lost in a belief, a memory, a faith, and that becomes memory. If you are a memory, you go back to the past. If you want to be a memory, try to project the memory of the future. Then you pull the future towards you. You try to imagine what the future is like and try to do your best now with the memory of the future. Otherwise, you'll always be dragging the chains of your past. I once said something that goes like this, that you are always a slave to your past, but a master of your future. And how is that? By pulling memory. Plan, and the memory of the future is planning. If you're planning, you're having memories of the future. If you're only recruiting memories of the past, you're going backward. Unless memories to bake this cake, memories to laugh, memories to cry, memories are always important for doing something. Understand? So when you recruit memories, it always has the purpose of doing something. And sometimes collectives recruit interesting memories where that doing is about resolving some memories. Every time you recruit a memory, it improves or worsens. It doesn't stay the same. Every time you go to recruit, even if you're not actively recruiting, the memory naturally changes. But you collectively recruit a cool group, a really give us a group, let's say. Give us is a group where you can express yourself. It's very interesting because sometimes the group, it's a collective experience that you need to feel and think about in this way. So it's a collective that's been hijacked. You can't be who you are. Nobody cares how you're free to simply fuel the fire of this way of thinking. The enemy is this. This is a thief. This is the enemy. He's a thief, but there's no proof. It doesn't matter. You're either a thief or an enemy. And it keeps repeating this to create a massification. So it no longer matters what you think. It's a group of alienation. You're alienated within the group. This group of alignment, man, sometimes you're part of these groups, but it won't help you. It won't do the metabolism to leave you in peace. It will leave you more stressed, more tense, with heavy, shallow breathing. the enemy. So it's simpler. Churches and political movements usually put the enemy in place to reinforce the enemy, to make you enter zone 3. Your critical thinking power decreases a lot. You don't have critical thinking skills. You just believe or accept those words, those phrases, and those enemies. And now, fight. Let's fight. And you have the feeling of belonging to a group that doesn't want what's good, a group that simply wants to conquer your heart and mind to make you conform. That's very different. When you talk about this inclusive and exclusive clan, the important thing is for you to know that it's a place where this group, this collective, will solve some of the problems you have without you needing to express them. That day I was talking to a friend of mine. Man, there are problems that you talk about, you make a big deal out of them, and you relax. And there are problems that you start talking to your friends over there, and you see one of their problems, another one, a doctor's problem, someone who passed away, another who had a problem, and suddenly that problem you had, which was this big, and you talking to others, it goes away, it disappears. Not only do you feel ashamed to talk about it, but the problem is already gone, because the metabolism has already occurred. The process has already occurred. The group, the clan has already solved that problem. So the clan you choose is the group of friends you get along with. You can be who you are and you can think differently from your friends, but in a way that you can say it in the moment. You say it and nobody will look at you sideways. You're an atheist, you're a Christian, you're a Muslim. It doesn't matter. The group is there. We're together. We're together. You understand? We're together because we're on the same little planet. We're together. It's not a group that wants to divide people. Where there is diversity of ideas, there is unity. Where there is a union of ideas, there is massification. Sometimes people are lost in political and religious movements, becoming massified in a single idea. There is no diversity of ideas that leads to unity. It's not about the union of ideas. The union of ideas is massification, not unity. And your body needs to be consistent with what you want to express. Freedom of expression. Express yourself. Now, in the perfect family, there is no freedom of expression. Little son is little son, little daughter is little daughter. That's how it is. So you'll have to adjust your clans and raise your family as best you can. Jacques, but why is there this whole story about the Daisy family? And why has this been going on for so long? It's simple. If you want to control a state, if you're very rich and have been there for a long time, do you want to control the state? To seize control of the state, you have to create a fake state entity, a lie, a liar. So let's suppose I'm one of the 120 richest people in Brazil, and I'm going to talk about family. God, fatherland, family. I'm going to talk about that. Yes, but I'm in my third or fourth family. I have children with these and those. You understand? But I'm friends with all of them. This is a clan. Nobody is saying whether it's right or wrong for you to have children with other women or for other women to have children with multiple men. Nobody is saying whether that's right or wrong, because it's wrong in the idealized family concept. Yes, but for those guys who are very rich, things work differently. But I need a unity, a state based on a family, because the concept of what family means is controlled by someone. Pastor, priest, guru, I don't know. They define what family is, and this family is the unit of the state hijacked by a superhero. For a group of super rich people, it doesn't involve more than 120 people. They really do kidnap. And you'll simply hear the super rich people's speeches. The family is this, this, and this, because always controlling the family will never be the unit of the state for the super rich. It won't be the citizen as a body territory. No, no. It's a group, it's a family, and this family is a family within the religious framework of Brazil, Christian religiosity. In another place, it will be Buddhist. In another place, it's all the religiosity of that predominant group in that country. And some, even those on the far right, ask me, is the far right always Christian? No, it changes from country to country. It's simply massification. The problem is massification of people. So what are we telling you now? To have an inclusive and exclusive clan, it's you. You already have one. And sometimes that little walk you take with your dog, or that movement you make with your cat, or with the plants, I'm going to water the plants, or that walk you go to play basketball or ride a bike, at that moment with that group of people, you're already regulating yourself. It's a clan. That's important for you. If you're PMSing, you'll look for a slightly different clan. A girl who's 17 or 18 years old PMSing, things get complicated. She'll have some, usually it's chocolate, I don't know what. You'll find some kind of substance. If it's chocolate, you'll find sugar, which is better for you. So you'll find some kind of substance, but you'll go with some friends to some places and you'll sort it out. Because there's tension, this tension has to be released, it has to be metabolized along with of the same type. So you create different clans, study groups, walking groups, exercise groups, stretching groups, music groups, outing groups, shopping groups. So you have several groups, and then you have a concept of an inclusive and exclusive clan. Why? Because your colleague's clan is different from yours. Your clan involves your family, whatever is possible. Your colleague's clan involves his or her family, whatever is possible. But your colleague's clan is with you during those moments at the mall. At other times, it's another activity that this individual follows. There's no standard activity. What's important is that the activity that this girl and this boy follow is an activity that helps the metabolism of these energies, these allostatic food charges within the individual. It releases allostatic charges, it releases energy, it forms clans. So, for example, there are women when they pass 45 or 50 years of age and enter menopause. Yes, but before that, you were with your family and pressured into that picture perfect family, father, mother, children. And now my children are already adults. They've already graduated. I'm childless. I'm alone. Sometimes you're without a husband or without a wife. Hold on a minute. Clan. Men go through andropause, but it seems that menopause is stronger for women. So, clan, I have to find your doctor, obviously, an endocrinologist, whatever, but you have different groups of people to share with. What's happening in Brazil? These women are staying home alone, thinking that it will pass. No, you have to form a clan. You have to form different groups for different attitudes. Obviously, there are online groups, but the in-person group activities together are very important because then you have a clan that will divide these in-person tasks. So you will have this idea of sharing, and you will see that that big problem in your life, enormous, insurmountable, when you are talking to this clan that is with you, your breathing becomes rapid, shallow, lengthened. We have a problem. Look, she has one too. He has one too. How interesting. We all have problems. The first real problem you have is the next respiratory cycle. Stop breathing. Problem. Shortness of breath. Breathe. You're always going to be solving a problem. Always. If the problem is too big, maybe the tension is too great, maybe it's zone three, you're too stressed, and you don't have complete movement, you don't finish and relax, you finish and continue with the tension and more tension, and it keeps rising, and your chest gets short of breath, and your chest is full of air, and there's no more air to enter. Let go. Stretch and lower your breath through your belly. Zone two. Look, breathe again, contemplate the things around you, and go back to zone one to do it. Because zone two is for tranquility, for you to think about life from an external perspective, to look from the outside at what you should do. Go back to zone one, do it, relax. Do it, relax. You did what you did. Are you tense? You somehow ended up in zone three. If no one is helping you, your clan will help you. Your ball game, your conversation with friends, your walk with your pet, your stroll in the park will help you. So start building your own clan, which is unique. Only you will build it. No one will give you tips on how to build this clan. You have to build it, and you build a clan collectively where you can be who you are, think what you think, express yourself. And every time you express things, you cease to be yourself because it goes outside. If you can't express yourself, you continue to be. Express yourself, especially in a group where you truly feel a sense of belonging, no matter how you think or what your beliefs are. Because belonging is not just ideological, belonging is about the body, the soul, and it's about being together as one. That's what I wanted to share with all of you folks. Until next Wednesday, take care.